Hi, I'm Dr. Ben Carvosso, and I wanted to chat to you today about the importance of posture, particularly the importance of posture when it comes to kids. I don't think this is a new conversation where, as parents, we're aware of the importance of our kids' posture when it comes to them sitting, slumping, doing their homework sitting on their bed, their posture that we're seeing more and more, this text neck, although kids don't text anymore, with their heads now coming forward, bent over for long periods of the day, staring at their phone, flicking through Instagram or TikTok. Posture is really, really important. And I'm going to explain why it is important that as parents, we have an awareness of our child's posture and that we do what we can to support it. And yes, that means having conversations with our kids and reminding them of the importance of sitting up straight and putting their phones down, but the importance of supporting them when it comes to their environment. And there's two aspects, I think, that we see from kids from pretty much the time that they can sit through all the way through high school and until eventually, I guess, they leave home. And it's the sitting posture is number one, and two is the sleeping posture. So when it comes to sitting, our kids sit a lot. So think about that from often the kinder years, right then through to primary school, and then as they move into high school, there is a lot of sitting. Some kids are sitting 6, 7, even 8 hours a day, either at school or when they then get home. And so as parents, we need to make sure that we're supporting our kids when it comes to that aspect of their life. Now, schools, I know, are making some improvements to that, but at home, we need to have an awareness of getting our kids to not sit as much, be more active, exercise more, move more, but where possible, think about doing their homework in a standing desk. So that's the first thing. But the biggest thing I think that we can do when it comes to our kids' posture is their sleep posture. There's two parts to that. There's the pillow that we choose to give our kids, and then there is the bed. And I'm going to explain why this is really important, as well as why the sitting posture is not so great. The spine is made up of 24 movable vertebrae. At the end of every vertebra, at the top and the bottom of every vertebra, when our child is young, it has a growth plate. So it's like a plate of special cartilaginous growing tissue. And that growing tissue responds to pressure. Now, importantly, when a child is growing, ideally, their spine is nice and straight. And so we want them to continue to grow straight. Think of a young sapling tree that you plant. Of course, you plant it, you put a nice big straight stake in, you tape it or you string it to the stake to make sure that the tree continues to grow straight. Well, the child's spine is exactly the same. It wants to grow straight, but unfortunately, if we don't put an even load on these growth plates as the child is growing, their spine can start to grow crooked. There's a rule, I'm going to get technical with you for a second, called the Hudman Rule. And the Hudman Rule says that these growth plates at the end of every vertebra will respond to load, to pressure. If the growth plate has more pressure on it, it will grow slower. If the growth plate has less pressure on it, it will grow faster. And so, if we had a child and they were sitting or they were sleeping with a pillow that was the wrong kind of pillow, or the mattress that was not supportive of their spine, and they were in a kind of a hunched position. Imagine the weight of their head is here. You can see that there is more pressure now at the front of the spine and less pressure at the back of the spine. The growth plates, remember, respond to pressure. If there's more pressure here, this part of the spine grows slower. If there's less pressure here, this part of the spine grows quicker. So what we see is over time, the spine keeps growing in this direction. So it grows more this way. Now there's more pressure here, less pressure here. What happens? Less growth, more growth, grows further into this direction. And so over time, a very subtle shift in load from front to back or from side to side, that subtle shift can cause that weight distribution. And because of the Hudman Rule and how it applies to growth plates, the spine can start growing crooked. So sleep is really important. children in bed 6, 7, 8, sometimes 9 hours. And the posture that they have in bed is really, really important. So bed choice is vital. These are the growing years. Children's spines grow very quickly in the very early years, from 2 to 3 to 5, and then they continue to grow. Those very early years, those primary school years, are essential that the child has a good mattress. This is not the time, I repeat, this is not the time to do a hand-me-down mattress to your kids, the one that's kind of left over from the big brother or the friends or whatever it might be, or the spare guest bedroom. This is the time to make sure that your children have got a really supportive mattress. A mattress that's firm, that is soft enough on the surface to take their bumps, but it is firm enough to support their overall spinal structure. And then to match that with the appropriate sized pillow. A pillow, when the child is small, is sort of smaller, and then as the child grows, the pillow can be adapted to change in size, either because the pillow is adaptable or that you upgrade the pillow. This is really, really important. I can't stress it enough how important it is that children are given a supportive mattress and a supportive pillow in those early years and beyond, to be honest. Secondly, that they're also encouraged to not sit, to stand, and that at home we make sure that the children have got their ability to have a standing desk to compensate for literally the hours of sitting that they do on a daily basis at school. I hope that's useful. I hope that has inspired you, maybe motivated you to rethink your child's posture when it comes to sitting, and really rethink your child's bed. This is something that I'm super passionate about. I've been in practice 35 years, and we have over the years seen, to be honest, some pretty terrible kid spines simply because there was maybe a small trauma, a small accident that hasn't been corrected, and then over time with poor posture and things like the Hudman Rule, their spine has continued to grow into an abnormal shape. So look after your kids' spines. Starts with good mattress, minimise sitting. I'm Dr. Ben. I hope that was useful.